Hi there guys, and welcome to another Red Gaming Tech Gaming News video with myself, Amata, here on the 5th of March. Today I have some Assassin's Creed 4 news for you today. There's been quite a lot of news floating around, especially after the world premiere of the trailer, and if you haven't seen that already, I do suggest you go and check it out, as it is rather awesome, and I did a video just yesterday with the first batch of gameplay details, so you should also check that out as well. But moving on to the actual today's news, the new news, Ubisoft has ruled out multiplayer naval battles in Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Speaking to CVG, lead content manager Carsten Miles said that though multiplayer will be a big part of AC4, ship versus ship battles on the high seas will not feature, and I'm going to directly quote here. We're going to be communicating big on multiplayer in the next coming weeks. However, what I can say is that unfortunately we won't be doing naval multiplayer for Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. According to him, the lack of multiplayer naval battles is down to Ubisoft's dedication to realising the vision of an open world pirate experience. And he says again, the reason for that is we're really on to take it to the next level for an open world pirate experience, and all of our effort has gone into that. Of course, it would be great, but sadly not. And while this is slightly disappointing that the brand new naval element that we saw in Assassin's Creed 3 and the further expanded naval element that we'll be seeing in Assassin's Creed 4 won't be making an appearance in the multiplayer, I'm sure some of us would love to have ship versus ship battles versus your friends or enemies or what have you. I'm sure many of us would like to see that, and if they're going to have it in the single player, it makes sense for it to have it. However, I am glad for this for one reason, and I will tell you that one reason is my main gripe with developers trying too hard to include multiplayer in games that don't necessarily need multiplayer, or perhaps they're doing it at the last minute, is that it diverts time and money away from the single player. And with Assassin's Creed, the single player has always been where the focus is. We didn't even have multiplayer until very, very recently with, I believe, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood or Revelations was the first. I can't quite recall which one was. But regardless of all of that, you know, the multiplayer of Assassin's Creed is good, don't get me wrong, but before that, and still now, I would class Assassin's Creed as a pretty much pure single-player experience, and that the focus is on the story and campaign, with a pretty good multiplayer as well to let you experience the Assassin's Creed universe more, which is great, fantastic. They've managed to achieve both, that's always good. But what we don't want to see happening is money and attention being taken away from the single player to be put into the multiplayer so that it can have an extra feature, say for example ship versus ship combat, and that would mean that the single player would suffer. That is not what you want, obviously. As awesome as it would be to have the naval battles featured in multiplayer, I don't want to see it at the expense of something in the single player, or having a slightly less than awesome single player experience, because that is what I personally play Assassin's Creed 4. And I'm sure while many of you out there enjoy the multiplayer, you have to admit that for most people, the single player is where it's at, the story and so on, and the characters. You know, that's what Assassin's Creed really, really shines, and I don't think any of us want to see Ubisoft doing this. If they want to add it at a later date, in a patch or something like that, then I say go for it. Doing it post-launch will probably make more sense than trying to cram it in beforehand. And would also mean that no attention is taken away from the actual main game, because by that point the game is already out. And yeah, as long as they don't try and maybe do a day one DLC thing where you have to pay for it, that would suck, but otherwise I'd say try and do it post-launch just to add that content in without taking away anything from the single player experience, is what I personally would advise if I was being asked, which I'm not, but hey ho, you came here for some speculation and opinions, and by golly, you're going to get it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please do hit me up with your thoughts and opinions on this particular one. Do you think this is a real shame that we're not going to be seeing naval battles in the multiplayer of Assassin's Creed 4, or you're not all that bothered? Please do hit me up. Always good to hear from you guys. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.